Hi, this is just a quick midweek catch up on jobs which we could be doing for the rest of this month, and I didn't want to include it into my normal weekly one. It would make it so long. Don't forget the weekly one comes out on Monday, and it's going to be 3/4 of an hour to an hour. Not quite sure yet because I'm not quite finished it yet. I'm about halfway there, but yes, please watch. Apologies for the beginning because I used my camera that was for the start, and you'll see the results. It didn't come out. I don't know what happened, but the picture came out small. Once you get into me, it's fine. I've gone back to the phone. So yeah, once I start talking, it's okay. As if you don't mind me talking. Yeah, some of the jobs we could be doing this month. Look, paths. We could be renewing our paths and cleaning them, putting more wood chip down if you've got them. If it's a concrete or a slab path, then think about getting rid of some of that green algae that's occurring over the winter. Lots of products on the market, or you could just use a basic, washing liquid and a good old scrubbing brush, and that will do exactly the same job and get rid of it. Other things is the lawn. Once we're due for a little bit of good weather, so once the lawn has thawed, give it a good rake over. Have a go at getting all that moss and that thatch out. That's great composting material. And the moss, you could keep both the moss and the thatch. Put it in a container where the air can get to it because you don't want it to start, getting mushy and rotting down. And just keep it till you're ready to do your hanging basket. Then use it as a liner on the outside of your hanging baskets if you're going to be using plastic. Ponds. Now, ponds, yes. If we're lucky enough to have a pond, I've only got a little, about an 18-inch, 2-foot diameter pond, which is where the birds wash, bathe, drink. Think about getting them cleaned up once they've thawed out, because don't forget, it's very soon the frogs and the toads and the newts will be thinking about spawning. As early as, depending on what part of the country you're in, it can be as early as the end of February. So that's a job we need to be thinking about getting done by the end of February, because definitely come March, they will be coming back to spawn. And the last thing you want, is to go and clear out the pond and find that, oh my God, I've just pulled all the frog spawn, the toad spawn, and the eggs of the newts out. So that's job number 3. Keep harvesting. If you've still got crops in the ground, then don't just give up because it's frosty. Harvest. If it comes to, and you can do it, then you can harvest a lot and preserve it. We can bottle it, we can freeze it. Lots of different things you can do. With the allotments and the gardens, if you've still got leaves laying about, rake them out, get them on the compost heap, get them in the leaf mould heap, bag them. They will rot down into a lovely, lovely soil. Good for topping. I mix it with seed compost. If I haven't got proper seed compost, I mix it into pots. If you're going to chip your potatoes, if you've already got them and they're definitely on sale now, I'm waiting for mine to be delivered. But if you've already been out and bought them, are you going to chip them? Now, if we chit potatoes, what does that mean? Well, basically, a chitting potato means that you're waiting for little shoots to come out. You don't want the shoots growing long. You just want little tiny bits of shoot starting to come from the potato, you can then sort out how many shoots on a potato you want. Some people just knock all the others off and just leave one. Others leave two. It's a personal choice. Or you can leave all the chits on the potato so you get multiple stems. Yes, you can get smaller potatoes. I personally don't worry. I don't even worry about chitting them anymore. I just plant them in the grow bags. I use grow bags, and they come up just the same. Think about it. The farmers chit the potatoes. No. Why? Because they haven't got the facility, the room to do that, and they haven't got the time. And why? It's something which we've grown into because somewhere along the line someone said, oh, get your potatoes started so they start to sprout. Okay, hence the chitting, C-H-I-T, to chit a potato. That came into existence. Suddenly everyone, like a lot of things, jumped on the bandwagon, and now they do that. They think you have to religiously do it. You don't have to religiously do it. You can just plant your potato. There's my potato in the ground. It'll come up. It'll happen. So it's a personal choice. One you have to think about. The other personal choice is, of course, with rhubarb. Rhubarb is now starting to show. You're getting the nice little red heads starting to push up. Are you going to force them, or are you going to let them come up naturally? If you force a rhubarb, it means putting a large pot or container over the top and basically shutting out the light. So they send up fine young shoots, which are lovely and tender, and then you harvest them when they're the size you want. I find the only problem is if you force rhubarb, it takes so much energy out of that plant straight away because it forces the shoots to grow fast to form the stems and the leaves, that they're not a lot of good for the rest of the year. And it is recommended that if you force rhubarbs, you don't harvest from that rhubarb for the rest of the year. So I'm one of these traditionalists. I just let it grow. When it's ready, when it's at the size I want, I harvest the stems. Remember, the leaves are poisonous, and just get rid of the leaves. Now the leaves, some people say, I'm not going to put them on the compost heap. Why not? It's not going to cause anyone any harm. The poison neutralised once they've rotted down. It makes great compost. The other thing it does, and I do this most of the time, when I harvest the leaves, I'll spread around the rhubarb. It's a great weed suppressant. Whether it's the poison in the rhubarb or just in the rhubarb leaves or just the leaves, but I find I get no weeds trying to grow around the rhubarb if I put the leaves down there. So it works out really, really well for me. Apples and pears. A bit like there's a rhyme, isn't there? Apples and pears. But have you pruned yours? Because now it's coming up to the last time to prune your apples and pears for the winter pruning. I normally get mine done by the end of January, which I have done. I don't like going into February because the weather can turn too mild. So I get my apples and pears pruned this month. Do not prune pears, do not prune soft fruits like cherries and plums. You don't want to get silverleaf. So, are you planting apples and pears? Are you planting bare root fruit trees? It doesn't matter what it is, apples, pears, plums, cherries, currant bushes, whatever. If you're planting bare rooted fruit trees and bushes, you need to get them done by the end of February at the latest. I don't like going past the end of February. Once you're into March, they're already growing, and it's draining them. They haven't got the strength in just the roots in the tree itself. So get them in the ground. Ideally, this month should be the last month for planting bare root fruits. Now, hanging baskets is the other thing. Are you going to do hanging baskets? Have you got them out and check? Have you got enough chains for them if they've got chains? Are you going to clean them? Do they need cleaning? There again, everything is a personal choice. I personally make sure my hanging baskets, they're wire baskets, are just stored away where the frost can get at them in any case. I get them out, I make sure I've got enough chains, I put the chains back on, because I take the chains off in the winter. I take them off and put them in the shed. I'll put the chains back on. Now, I get the coir or the cocoa liners. In this case, this time, excuse me, I've got cocoa mat. I've got a big roll of cocoa mat, which when I do the hanging baskets, I'll explain about. So I'm going to cut my own and put in so that I can cut them to how I want them done. You'll sometimes find, especially with the cheaper hanging basket liners, they're a bit hit and miss as to how good they are when they fit in. And don't forget, you've got different size baskets, they're not all the same size. So know whether it's a 14 or a 16 inch basket. Whatever basket you've got, make sure you get the right size. Now, what are you going to grow in your hanging baskets? Is it going to be flowers? Which is very traditional to grow flowers. On a vegetable garden plot, I'm going to be growing veg. Now, all this I'm going to be going into in my hanging basket video, which I'll be doing the beginning of next month. Either the first or second week of the month, I'll go into and show you how I do that. In the meantime, there's some baskets I've got which in my video you'll see coming out on Monday. You'll see the red pots with the plastic hanging strands and hooks, and they're the ones which I bought last year with cherry tomatoes in. The cherry tomatoes were rubbish, to be honest. I'm going to be growing my own to go in there this year, and I know they'll be okay, because last year the ones I brought, it was a compost at the end of the day. It was absolute rubbish. It wouldn't hold any water. It just completely dried out. It was too heavily compacted, and the poor tomatoes had no chance at all of surviving. They just literally died off. No matter how much water they got, how much feed they got. They lasted about 2 months, and the fruit I got, well, I think I could have put it on one saucer and it would have been the total amount for that plant for the year. So I'm going to be growing my own. But it's not just that you can put in. On these red plastic ones, I'm going to be putting herbs. Now, then again, it's all going to be in the video that's coming up, and you'll see how I do it and what I do and what I put in there. So keep a watch out for that. That's me rabbited on enough for now. So I'm going to say, catch you on Monday. Take care. Keep safe. Keep warm. Especially, I know in Canada, I've been told that it's -18. Now, that is cold. I mean, we moan about -5, -6. -18? That is cold. So, thank you for watching. To any overseas subscribers and watchers, keep safe, keep warm, and watch out for these storms.